Here's something nobody talks about. The less people know about you, the more power you actually have in your own life. I know that sounds counterintuitive in an age where we're basically encouraged to share everything. Our morning routines, our struggles, our wins, our entire life story on Instagram stories. But hear me out, because what I'm about to share with you might completely change how you navigate relationships, your career, and honestly, your entire life. There's this ancient principle that's been passed down for thousands of years, and it goes something like this. Your heart should be like a deep well. The quieter it is, the harder it is to measure. And I think we've completely lost sight of this wisdom in modern America. Part 1. Your mind is like a deep well. Keep it still. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're standing next to one of those old stone wells you might see out in the countryside, maybe in Vermont or upstate New York. The water is completely still. You can see your reflection perfectly. It's peaceful, undisturbed, crystal clear. Now imagine someone tosses a single leaf into that well. Suddenly, ripples spread across the entire surface. Your reflection distorts. The clarity is gone. And here's the thing. That's exactly what happens to your mind when you let too many people in. Every time you overshare, every time you lay out your entire thought process, every time you explain yourself too much, you're basically inviting people to throw stones into your well. And once that water gets disturbed, it's really hard to get that clarity back. Think about it. When was the last time you told someone about a dream or a goal you had, and suddenly you felt weird about it? Like the magic was gone? That's because the moment you externalize something that's still forming inside you, you open yourself up to judgment, doubt, and other people's projections. I remember when I was working on a major career transition. I made the mistake of telling almost everyone I knew about my plans. Family dinners became interrogations. So how's that new business idea going? Friends would check in. Have you made the switch yet? Even my barista started asking about it. What should have been an internal process of growth became this external performance. I felt pressured to prove something to everyone instead of just focusing on the work. That's when I learned. Your thoughts, your plans, your inner world. They need protection. Not because you're being secretive or shady, but because some things need time to develop in the quiet before they're ready for the world. The deepest, strongest people you know. They're not the ones posting every thought on social media or announcing every plan at brunch. They're the ones who keep that inner stillness. They observe more than they speak. They process internally before they project externally. Here's what that looks like practically. You don't need to explain your decisions to everyone. You don't need to share every struggle. You don't need validation for every choice. When you keep your mind still and deep, like that well, you maintain your power. You stay centered. You don't get easily swayed by every opinion thrown your way. Part 2. Be like a closed lake. Choose what to share. Now let's talk about boundaries, because this is where things get really interesting. Picture a lake with no boundaries, water just spreading everywhere, seeping into the ground, evaporating in the sun, getting muddy and unclear. That's what happens when you have no filter, no boundaries about what you share. But a contained lake, one with defined shores, even when the wind blows, the water stays relatively calm. It's protected, it's clean. It serves its purpose without being disrupted by every little external force. I learned this the hard way in my 20s. I used to be an open book, told everyone everything. My relationship problems? Sure, I'd text the group chat every detail. My financial struggles? Oh, I'd mention it at happy hour. My family drama? Absolutely would come up at work. You know what happened? People started treating me differently. Some pitied me, some used that information against me later. Some just couldn't handle being that close to my mess. And worst of all, I lost my sense of self because I was getting so much input from everyone else that I couldn't hear my own voice anymore. There's this concept in psychology called emotional boundaries, and it's essentially about knowing what to keep in and what to let out. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Not everyone has earned the right to know your struggles, your fears, your dreams, your vulnerabilities. Here's a practical framework I use now. Before sharing something personal, I ask myself 3 questions. Does this person need to know this? Will sharing this serve me or them in a meaningful way? Am I sharing from a place of strength or seeking validation? If I can't answer yes to at least 2 of those questions, I keep it to myself. This doesn't make you cold or distant. It makes you selective. And there's tremendous power in selectivity. The people who really matter will still get close to you, but on your terms, in your time, in ways that feel safe and authentic. Think about the most magnetic people you know. They're usually not the ones oversharing. They're the ones who have an air of mystery, who keep something back, who make you lean in to really get to know them. That's not manipulation. That's self-respect. When you're like a closed lake, you're not shut off from the world. You're just choosing what tributaries feed you and what waters you share with others. You're being intentional. And in a world of constant oversharing, intentionality is revolutionary. Part 3. Your thoughts are like clouds, fluid but uncatchable. Here's something I've noticed about the people who seem to glide through life with the most ease. Nobody can quite pin them down. Not in a flaky way, but in a, wow, they're always evolving kind of way. Imagine lying on your back in Central Park on a summer afternoon, watching clouds drift by. One minute a cloud looks like a dragon. The next minute it's a ship. Then it dissolves into wisps of nothing. You can't catch it. You can't predict exactly where it's going. It just moves. That's how your thoughts and intentions should be. Adaptable, evolving. Unpredictable to others, but intentional to you. The problem is, when you tell everyone exactly what you're thinking, what you're planning, where you're headed, you box yourself in. You create expectations. And then you either have to live up to those expectations or deal with the disappointment when you change course. I have a friend who announced on Facebook that she was going to law school. Big post, lots of likes, congratulations everywhere. 6 months later, she realized law wasn't her path. She wanted to go into UX design instead, but she felt so much pressure from that public declaration that she stuck with law school applications for another whole year, miserable, just to avoid the embarrassment of failing at what she'd announced. That's the trap. When you make your internal world too external, you lose the freedom to change, to evolve, to explore without judgment. The wisest move? Keep your thoughts fluid. When people ask what you're up to, you don't need to lay out your entire 5-year plan. A simple, "I'm exploring some new directions," works fine. When someone asks what you think about something controversial, "I'm still forming my thoughts on that," is a perfectly valid response. This isn't about being evasive. It's about protecting your right to change your mind, to grow, to learn without having to explain every pivot to an audience. Some of the most successful people I've studied, entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, they rarely announce their moves before they make them. Jeff Bezos didn't tell everyone he was going to revolutionize e-commerce before he did it. Oprah didn't announce she was going to build a media empire before she built it. They moved like clouds, visible but uncatchable, always in motion, impossible to fully predict. Part 4. Act like a water reflection. Do the work quietly. Let's talk about something that's going to sound almost offensive in our current culture. The value of shutting up about what you're doing. I know. We're told to share our journey, to build in public, to document every step. And look, there's a place for that. But there's also tremendous power in doing great work quietly and letting the results speak for themselves. Think about a reflection of the moon on a lake. It's beautiful, it's there, it's real, but it doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It just is. And everyone who sees it is moved by it. That's how your best work should be. Present, impactful, undeniable, but not self-promoting every step of the way. I used to work with this guy. Let's call him Marcus. Every Monday morning, Marcus would send these elaborate emails to the whole team about everything he was working on. I'm revolutionizing our client outreach strategy. I'm implementing cutting-edge project management systems. I'm analyzing breakthrough data patterns. Meanwhile, there was this woman, Janet, who barely said anything in meetings. She just quietly worked. 6 months later, Janet got promoted to lead a major division. Turned out, while Marcus was busy telling everyone what he was going to do, Janet was actually doing it. The ancient wisdom says, act like the shadow on water, present but not boastful. In modern terms, do more, say less. Here's why this matters. Every time you announce what you're doing, you're dissipating the energy you need to actually do it. It's like opening a pressure cooker before the food is done. All that steam escapes and nothing cooks properly. There's actually research backing this up. A study by psychologist Peter Gollwitzer found that when people talk about their goals, they experience a social reality that tricks their brain into thinking they've already accomplished something. So they're less motivated to actually follow through. But when you work quietly, when you keep your head down and just execute, that energy stays contained. That pressure builds. And when you finally do reveal what you've been working on, it has impact. It has weight. People respect it because it's not just talk, it's results. I'm not saying never share your wins, but maybe wait until the thing is actually done. Launch the business, then announce it. Finish the degree, then post the photo. Complete the transformation, then show the before and after. The world has enough people talking about what they're going to do. Be the person who just does it. Part 5. Your life is like unpolished jade, valuable, because it's hidden. Here's the final piece, and it might be the most important one. The most valuable things are the things that remain hidden until the right moment. In Chinese culture, there's this concept of unpolished jade. Jade that looks like a regular rock until someone who truly knows what they're looking for recognizes its value. It's not shiny, it's not obvious, but it's precious. That's what your true self should be. Not broadcasting everything to everyone, but revealing your depths only to those who've earned it, who can appreciate it, who will protect it. I think about social media and how we've created this culture where the assumption is that if you don't share it, it didn't happen. If you're not posting your relationship, is it even real? If you're not documenting your success, did you actually succeed? If you're not sharing your struggles, are you being authentic? But here's what I've learned. The most real, most valuable parts of your life are often the ones you keep private. Your quiet morning routine that grounds you before the chaos of the day. The small kindnesses you do that nobody sees. The internal work you're doing to become better. The dreams you're nurturing that aren't ready for scrutiny. The relationship moments that are just for you and your partner, not for an audience. These things, these hidden, protected, private things, they're your jade. They're what make you valuable, interesting, deep. And the more you protect them, the more they grow in value. I have a rule now. The most important things in my life stay off social media. My deepest relationships, my spiritual practices, my core values, my biggest dreams, these are mine. They're not for consumption. They're not for likes. They're not for validation. And you know what? Since I adopted this approach, I feel more grounded, more authentic, more like myself than ever. Because I'm not performing my life for an audience. I'm just living it. When you keep parts of yourself hidden, not out of shame, but out of wisdom, you protect your energy. You protect your peace. You protect your authenticity from the corruption that comes with constant external validation. The integration, putting it all together. So here's what all of this comes down to. Your mind should be like a deep well, still, clear, and hard to disturb. Don't let everyone throw their stones into your water. Your boundaries should be like a closed lake, defined, protected, intentional about what flows in and out. Your thoughts should be like clouds, visible but uncatchable, always evolving, impossible to pin down completely. Your actions should be like a water reflection, present and impactful, but not self-promoting. Let the work speak. Your life should be like unpolished jade, valuable because you protect what matters, revealing your depths only to those who've earned it. This isn't about being secretive, antisocial, or inauthentic. This is about being strategic with your energy. This is about protecting your peace. This is about understanding that not everything needs to be shared, explained, or justified to other people. In a world that's constantly asking you to perform, to share, to explain yourself, the revolutionary act is sometimes just to not. To keep some things for yourself, to let people wonder, to maintain some mystery, to do your work quietly and let it speak for itself. Because here's the truth. The people who need to know you will get to know you in time, on your terms. The people who don't matter won't get access. And the most important person, you, will stay grounded, centered, and true to yourself through it all. The ancient wisdom has it right. Those who speak least often have the most to say. Those who reveal least often have the most depth. Those who protect their inner world most carefully often have the richest inner life. So maybe it's time to stop telling everyone everything. Maybe it's time to embrace a little mystery. Maybe it's time to protect what's precious instead of putting it all on display. Your well doesn't need to be shallow to be accessible. Your lake doesn't need to overflow to be full. Your clouds don't need to be stationary to be beautiful. Your reflection doesn't need to shout to be noticed. And your jade doesn't need to be polished to be valuable. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply keep quiet, stay still, stay deep, and let your life speak for itself. See you in the next one.